microphone from me, agrees. It's time to become a member of Citizens Today.
Okay.
Morning, Randy Degenkolb. How are you?
I'm good, Todd. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Good.
Hey, we've got a big event coming up at the Purchase Line United Methodist Church. You have a big event coming up at the Plum Church this weekend.
Correct. We have put together an event team at the church to conduct a judicial candidate night. As you know, this year we have a magisterial race in the northern part of the county with Judge Thatchik deciding not to continue. He's going to finish out his term as judge. And so anytime there's an open seat, of course, that attracts a lot of candidates. This year there are 7 candidates running for that position in the primary. And then also at the county level, we have the Court of Common Pleas judge position. There are 4 candidates for that. So all 11 candidates will be there. We will have 2 forums. The first half of the forum will be for the Judge of Common Pleas candidates, and the second half will be for the magisterial candidates, with a short intermission in between.
Yeah, okay. So you said how many for the Court of Common Pleas?
4.
4, okay. That's what I thought. And so putting them together in this particular election cycle, I'm assuming everybody has cross-filed as both Democrat and Republican?
They have, yes.
Which makes this primary very important, especially if one candidate can manage to win both sides of the ballot, and then that person is pretty well assured the seat in the general election.
If that were to happen, I really don't expect that will happen, but that's possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Court of Common Pleas first, and then the Magisterial District Court second. The number of candidates, of course, the fact that they are open seats is one of the factors. But the fact that there are so many people interested in the seats really speaks to the civic commitment of all of those people as well.
It does. I, as a candidate, having been a candidate in the past on offices, I have a great admiration, Todd, for anyone willing to put their name on the line to be a candidate. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. There's just a lot more that goes into it than people realize it. Until you've been a candidate, you might not know that. But I talk to people who have run all the time or are in the midst of a campaign, and they tell me 2 things. They say, number one, the county's bigger than they thought it was, and it takes a lot more time and money than they ever dreamed to run an effective campaign. Now, on the judicial candidate night, excuse my voice this morning, excuse me.
That cough button down there works too.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, I'll use that the next time.
There you go. There you go.
With this many candidates tomorrow night at the judicial candidate night, it took a lot of work to get the logistics right for the event itself. In other words, you're wanting everybody to have the time to speak. On the other hand, you don't want to be there for 4 hours.
Yeah, sure.
So we've made it so that each candidate will have an opening question, and they'll have 4.5 minutes to answer that, and that'll be part of their introduction as well. And then their second question will be a question that they literally have drawn. They won't know what that second question is.
Okay.
The first question they will. They will have time to ponder that question. Everybody will get the same first question. The second question, they will have 2.5 minutes, but it'll be a surprise question. Now, those questions have been developed by the students at schools at Penns Manor, Purchase Line, Indiana Wesleyan Private School, and also Calvary Baptist Academy. So those 4 schools. Marion Center was also invited. We didn't get any responses, I will say, from Marion Center, but I think they're in the middle of their testing time right now. So, we got a lot of good questions. The event team the other night went through those questions at Purchase Line United Methodist Church and kind of worked with the duplicate questions, the ones that might not be appropriate for judicial candidates, and the ones that we felt were really good questions. There are a lot of good questions that the students have submitted through their faculty advisors. So it starts at 6:30. The judge candidates will go first, and then that'll last until about 7:25. There'll be a 15-minute intermission, and then we will have the magisterial candidates.
Now, for the Court of Common Pleas, this is a seat that was added a few years ago. And it traditionally has been a family court type of atmosphere. But it's not by some sort of fiat. It's not designated as such. It is eligible to hear any kind of criminal case.
Correct. When Judge Hannah was there, she did typically take care of the family law cases, but she also was given many other types of cases. Mm-hmm. We just had so many family law cases that was an appropriate venue for those to be in her court, and that could be again, or the court could be realigned in some way, depending on how the president judge wants to designate those responsibilities among the judges. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what the role will be of this newly elected judge. We'll find out in January of next year.
And probably the candidates who will be running for that seat, they have a few ideas of their own about what it will be like, and folks can hear those sorts of responses tomorrow. Magisterial district courts are interesting offices because they not only hear from their district, but they could be, being the on-call judge over a weekend, they could get a case from anywhere within Indiana County.
Absolutely. And that process is managed. We keep that posted in my office at the Prothonotarian Clerk of Courts as to which magistrate is on call every evening and every weekend. And that's quite a process in itself, just to make sure that we always have a magistrate on call.
Yeah. Randy Degenkolb is with us this morning. The event is going to be tomorrow night at the Purchase Line United Methodist Church. For those who don't know, it's a very easy church to find.
Mm-hmm. It is on 286, past Clymer, 7 miles north of Clymer. You go past the high school of Purchase Line on the one hill. Next hilltop is the Purchase Line Elementary, and then the Purchase Line United Methodist Church sits back just 100 yards on that same side of the road beside the elementary school. Starts at 6:30. It's a free event. There is no admission charge, and there will be some very light refreshments for the intermission. So even if you can't talk directly with the candidates, because these will all be prepared questions and given by the moderator, there will be that intermission time when you can mingle with all the candidates, get to know them, and even after the event is over, you can talk further with them.
And for just a moment, let's pause for a second and talk about Purchase Line United Methodist Church. That is such an active congregation, always something creative coming out of that church.
It really is. That church, came from 4 different churches that merged back in 1985, and they built the sanctuary. And then in 2006 and 7, they built on their big activity center, which is where this event will be held. Will be in the gymnasium of the activity center. But they are really an active church, and it's kind of fun to be in a church that has so many things going on and so many leaders doing so many things. The event team, I want to plug them just for a minute. Karen Ober, Lisa Murdoch, Jimmy Leidig, Bobby Montgomery, my wife Kathy, our pastor Ray Hill. That team has put some real thought and time into this process, and I want to thank them publicly for all the work they've done on this.
Yeah, and it's interesting to find as well a church taking a role in such an event as this, which is not entering into a political arena by any means. Churches don't do that sort of thing, but is simply opening up a civic-minded mission field, if you will. And I think that's very important.
It is. Someone asked me, and they might not have been as knowledgeable about these matters, but they said, doesn't that cross the line of church and state? And actually, the line of church and state, if you will, is when a church would consider endorsing a candidate, which that would violate 501c3 tax status, and they could lose their tax status by doing that. But a church can be very involved in the candidate process and the election process, in the sense of giving information, providing a forum for the candidates, encouraging their people to vote, all of that, kind of a neutral way of just encouraging the people to participate in the democratic process. Churches can very much be involved in that.
So tomorrow night, Purchase Line United Methodist Church, you said 6:30 is when everything gets underway?
Correct.
And anybody can come.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and everybody should when you stop to think about it, because the Court of Common Pleas covers all of Indiana County. The Magisterial District Court, so that's a very, very wide footprint for that as well.
That is. There are even a couple white township precincts in that. So
Yeah.
it goes from some of the White Township precincts, not all of them, clear up to Smicksburg and that whole northern area of the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Randy, for coming in to tell us about it.
Thank you, Todd.
Back on the bike. It's Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank, AM 1160 WCCS, 101.1 FM, 22 and